Tory Taylor shared a text from New Bears QB Caleb Williams saying, Caleb just texted me before saying, hey, you're not going to punt too much here, which is great. That was pretty funny. Drew loved it. He's mad about it on the meeting. Rookie of the Year odds, Caleb at 1, Marvin Harrison Jr. at 2. Jaden Daniels and J.J. McCarthy tied for 3 and 4. Malik Neighbors at 5, not pictured, but still in the running, Hubs told me. Drake May coming in at 6. Brew, do you expect Caleb to over or underachieve?
All right, let me say, I like Caleb.
Oh, no,
not quite as much as Nick,
That's the
but I like
worst
Caleb.
thing you can say.
With that, you're in college.
My problem is Caleb is talking about the NFL like it's the Pac-12. All right? I mean, first it's, I'm chasing Tom Brady. Okay. Then it's, I'm chasing immortality. Football immortality.
Well, or maybe life. Yeah. Who knows?
I can talk to him if it's life.
Yeah.
But and then we won't punt much. All right, like
Who the punter? In a private text.
It's public now. It's public now.
That to be clear, right? The first two things he said publicly. This one was like a private text, which also then obviously went public. So I'm excited to break this down because they are two completely different things. But I'm gonna let the tape play and then we'll break it down.
Now, all right, and this is facts. Who was the last great quarterback to come out of USC?
Well, this doesn't matter.
I'll wait. Right.
Sanchez.
Carson Palmer. Okay. He got hurt. All right. The next greatest to come out of Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield.
Troy Aikman was there, and then went to UCLA.
We don't think of him.
To be clear, I'm not saying Mark Sanchez is great.
Jalen, okay.
Yeah.
You don't even like Kyler
No, I'm
Murray.
just saying guys that went
and Caleb better not be Kyler Murray.
No, I agree with that. I actually
or
agree
Baker,
with that. I agree with that.
Aikman, obviously. But so I'm just saying, look, I will say, I think he will live up to like our expectation, pundits' expectation. We're talking about this year, right? We're talking about this year.
Yeah.
I think he'll have a good rookie year. I think he could definitely be rookie of the year. I don't think he'll live up to his own expectations because I think he thinks he's about to come in and light the league on fire.
Here's what I think he thinks, that it's about to be easier.
Oh.
And I think
which is crazy.
I don't think it's crazy. I think he's right. I think the NFL is tougher, obviously, than college football. Mm-hmm. But I think he is set up in a way where, for the first time, he's not going to be going into – there are going to be certain weeks, a lot of weeks, I think, actually, where it's like, oh, I have the better squad. Oh, that's nice.
There were a lot of weeks in the Pac-12.
But not
everyone, of course.
So now that the draft's over, here was something that I thought was interesting. You look at the 5 quarterbacks taken in the top 10 and their supporting cast. What did the world think of it? So, for example, J.J. McCarthy, he's such a winner. Who did he drag to those wins? Oh, you had 11 guys drafted, including 3 of your offensive linemen, a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. Well, all right, Jaden Daniels. You had 4 guys in the first 4 rounds, including 2 first-round receivers. Caleb Williams. 2 guys from USC were taken in the first 200 picks, a safety and his running back Marshawn Lloyd. So,
but it's not like you took him to great heights.
No, I get that, but my point is that he was, once the Pac-12 schedule started, more weeks than not, he was at a talent deficit. And now he is, if we can show you the Bears' upcoming schedule, when you look at the Bears' offense against the opposing defense, when you look at that, they do play some good teams, and that's a very tough division. But that's a tough division because of their offenses. What are the great defenses they play next year? The Niners, potentially. Yeah. The Patriots, but that's...
We'll only score 6 points.
Right, the Patriots, exactly. So, do I think that Caleb Williams, with this receiving core, with a legitimate offensive line, with a good, I think the people in Chicago are slightly overrating their defense, but it was a good defense once they got Montez Sweat. Do I think he is going to oddly be in a position where the game feels easier next year than last year? I do.
Okay. So we're having two different conversations. One, I thought we were just gonna talk about like, what about, Caleb saying, not going to punt much. And I won't linger on that too much because now what Nick is saying is more interesting to me. But I will say I don't like all of this noise coming out of him. I do think it's, more overconfidence. Now, I think it was okay that he was saying about chasing Tom Brady and immortality and all that. To me, I made a whole video about that and said that it makes sense. I understand it. He's not saying that he's going to achieve it, but that's his goal. And he is in the rare company where potentially his dreams and goals can be one of the same. And not many people can say that. And so I don't really have a problem with that. It's not like he planted his flag and said, I'm going to be better than Tom Brady. I'm going to be better than Patrick Mahomes. He's saying that that's what the goal is. That's what my intention is. And that makes sense when you are a really good player and you have the ability to, chase those players. But now, and also now this private text that he's saying to his punter, like, again, I don't know the rapport. I don't know what type of relationship they have. But there's a difference between confidence and overconfidence, and he's definitely kind of being a little bit overconfident, and there's nothing wrong with being confident, but you have to be humble. And that's what part of my concern about Caleb is him coming to, especially to the organization of the Bears, who don't have true bona fide top dog coaches that could be like, yo, shut up and listen. Do you want to be the best you could be? Do you want to be the GOAT? Do you want to be elite? Do you want to pass Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes? Then listen to what I'm saying. You don't know everything. And that's my concern, because that is the biggest thing that Patrick Mahomes had. Patrick Mahomes had humility. He did listen to Andy Reid. He had a whole year of doing nothing but listening to Andy Reid. And also just not playing for the whole year humbles you. Caleb's not having that. He doesn't have the wise elite wisdom of none other than Andy Reid. And even Alex Smith, for that matter, just learning from him, obviously on a different level of Andy Reid. And you saw when Patrick Mahomes started to get too cocky, get too high up, try to force his Mahomes magic. He started throwing more interceptions, the Chiefs weren't winning, and then Andy Reid brought him back. Andy Reid was like, again, I always make the comment, you see them sitting butt to butt. They're literally on top of each other. And he's, and it's just like, come back down to earth. I know you're amazing. I know you can throw the ball upside down with your left hand with your eyes closed. I know you can. And you'll be able to do that occasionally, but let's not do that every single drive. That needed to be coached out of him. Caleb Williams has a lot of that magic, so to speak, and has a lot of that skill set, but he needs the right coach to be able to control it, to minimize the mistakes, to minimize the cockiness, the overconfidence. And I don't know if he has that. He doesn't have this bona fide established coach. And save it. Andy Reid was a Hall of Fame coach just with his record out with the Eagles alone before Patrick Mahomes. He was one of the top coaches of all time. Look it up. Just look at his numbers alone. And that was if he never coached again with the Eagles. Not to mention, obviously, if he continued to coach with the Eagles over years, he would continue to get more wins, playoff wins, and all of that. So his track record, his resume just with Philadelphia put him as one of the top coaches in the history of the NFL. It's not even up for debate. It's not up for debate. You mega Patrick Mahomes fans love to bring Andy Reid down to elevate Mahomes, and it's nonsense. I will not tolerate it. But this whole thing, what now Nick is saying, that things are going to be easier. On one side, what Nick is saying, there is truth. Because his receivers are going to be better, his offensive line's going to be better, right? Like, you're going to have that. If anyone's ever played quarterback or played football knows that when you're playing with elite wide receivers, real ball catchers, it's easy. I mean, easy is too strong of a word, but it's easier. You can put someone who's not that good of a quarterback back there, and the greats, the A.J. Browns, Antonio Brown, Terrell Owens, like these great all-time receivers, which I'm not saying the Bears necessarily have that. I'm just using an extreme comparison. a high school athlete can throw balls, and those players, those wide receivers are going to catch those balls. They're going to be able to, help out the quarterback significantly. And so Caleb obviously is way better than everyone else on his team in college. And so now things will be somewhat easier because it's going to feel great. He's going to be like, man, when I throw you're running the routes. You're actually getting open. You can catch these 50-50 balls. So that will get easier. But also, and this is notorious with quarterbacks, when you enter the league, there's certain plays because you don't realize how good the defense is and how fast the defense is, and how physical the defense is, that you make throws that you could normally get away with in college, but you can't in pros. And I think that is where he can get himself in trouble, especially if he has the overconfidence or, a coach that can't kind of minimize those aspects, because that's, pretty much guaranteed to happen. Although the argument could be said that since the NFL has changed over the years and has more offensively driven, that you're maybe potentially more likely to see quicker success and less of that, oh wow, I could do this in college, but not the pros, especially with how some of the offensive rules are. So you're able to get some of those more easy plays, or you can throw in tighter coverage because the wide receiver is more protected. Tom Brady has spoken on this where he said, I make throws now that I would have not earlier in my career because my wide receivers would be getting their heads knocked off, and now I know that's not the case. So because of that, in one way, it makes the field bigger in a way where you have more room to work with, but it also makes it smaller in a positive way where it just makes things more simpler, right? You don't have to skip over certain reads because you're like, all right, like normally you'd have to skip over that read because you're like, oh my God, that dude's going to get his head knocked off. I can't throw to him. And now you're looking, it's, you can kind of, I don't want to say that it's easier, but technically, according to Tom Brady, it's easier. So I just think that, again, I think Caleb Williams will be great. I've now noted a lot that I'm just not so sure about the coaching more than anything. But in terms of like the pure question of will he over or underachieve, I think what Brew is saying is correct, that he will underachieve in his own eyes, because you see this with a lot of these confident athletes, and it's mind blowing. It's actually shocking to me at this point. You see this all the time in the NBA and the NFL. They think they're going to live forever. They think they're going to make all the money in the world forever. They think they're going to be as good as they are forever. They think they're going to have instant success right away. And it's mind-blowing to me that you see all of these instances where players obviously fade and grow old and are no longer as good, and you see that they don't make money forever, which is why so many of them end up going broke, although that's they've kind of helped correct that issue to a degree, based on, compared to how it was in years past. And this idea that these players think that they can just enter the league and just be like, boom, instant. I mean, there's a lot of players that think that they're the best at the end that this league, basketball or football have ever seen. I guarantee you, I shouldn't say I guarantee you, but based off of what Caleb is saying, it feels like he in his heart of all hearts is like, I am going to do things that Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes could only dream of. They are not on my level. The league has not seen me. You've never seen a rookie win their first 16, 17 games and go to a Super Bowl and win. Well, guess what? I am Caleb Williams, and I'm going to do that. I'm not saying he's being that extreme, but it feels like he's more closer to that spectrum than the Steph Curry spectrum of, hey, you know what? I'm really excited to be part of, to be drafted. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow. I'm going to develop. And I'm really excited to see where my career can take me. And in the next 5 years, hey, hot tongue-in-cheek comment, but I hope I'm still in the league. That's humble. That's humbleness. That's humility. That's someone who wants to continue to learn and grow. Caleb Williams with some of these statements is making me somewhat nervous. Again, I think Caleb Williams will be great. But I think there's two things that can get in his way: coaching and his own mind at this point. I don't think it's his physical raw talent. But yeah, I don't know. This is definitely a fascinating thing. And I don't know, when they say expect Caleb to over or underachieve, it's like based off of who? Because you have some people that are saying that, you know, he's God's gift to earth, and you have other people that are saying he's not that good. You know, I would keep Justin Fields and trade the pick. So it's like, it depends what expectations we're talking about here. I think the expectations for him are to have, you know, a somewhat CJ Stroud-like year or a Justin Herbert year. Maybe not from a pure season standpoint in terms of wins and losses, but from an individual, how comfortable he looks, the throws he makes, the wow moments, the oh my God, did you see what Caleb did yesterday? That was insane. I think from that standpoint, you know, will they be able to get right to the playoffs and win a couple playoff games? I have no idea. You know, truly, I have no idea. And trying to predict that. And I don't even know if that should be the expectations. So, yeah, I've seen a pretty big array of what the expectations for Caleb are. So in terms of the question as over, underachieve, it depends on whose expectations we're using as our frame of reference. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you think about Caleb Williams and all this talk? And what do you think about Caleb Williams? You know, do you think you expect him to over or underachieve? Let me know in the comments below whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. I read every single comment. So let's hear what you have to say, and we'll, you know, get in some discussions. And please don't forget to subscribe. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.